All right, guys, you may have seen my very recent video where I was giving you guys a summary of literally 574 purchases that I made during 2025. I walked you through a spreadsheet with all the cards that I purchased. We talked a little bit about some of what I paid for each of the cards, the platforms that I bought them on, what I was thinking, where my collecting habits went in 2024. Today's video is going to be the other direction. So like two ships passing in the night. We're going to talk about all of my sales, and there was 1,116 of them in 2026. A lot of this had to be done with the help of Fanatics Buy It Now and Fanatics Weekly. We're going to talk through that and how I use that as a tool. But a lot of this stuff was done in really the most economically fantastic way possible, which is private sales, right? Just having a big mouth, just being Cajun Cardboard, talking a lot, listening a lot, paying attention, scrolling through IG, scrolling on Facebook, just having the YouTube channel, going back and forth with viewers. I got a lot of deals done with some of you guys that are going to be watching this video today, and I'm going to share some names. I'm not going to go into the numbers that you guys paid for the cards because that's not public. That's not something I can share because those were private deals, but anyway, this is going to be a great video. It's going to be the exact opposite. It's all the money that went out. And you'll see what's funny is some of the cards that you saw me buy in 2025, I also sold in 2025, and it was almost invariably for a profit. And that sort of led to the sweeping change in the way that I collect basketball cards. I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll show you what it means and why I did what I did during 2026. It's all going to make a lot more sense after you watch this video and I sort of talk through what I sold, when I sold it, and why I sold it. Enjoy this video, guys, and I hope you have a great 2026. If you've got a bunch of unwanted inventory that you've been sitting on for days, weeks, months, years, ship it to Fanatics Marketplace and let them do all the work. Just make sure when you ship it, you use the promotional code Cajun, all capital letters, C-A-J-U-N. Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and this is my video showing you all of my sales from 2025. Let's not waste any time. It's a big spreadsheet, 1,116 separate line items. A lot of these you're going to see a little bit of eBay, but mostly you're going to see Fanatics Weekly or private deals or Fanatics Buy Now Marketplace. Remember, if you're selling cards on Fanatics, if you're going to sell cards on Fanatics like I do on the Weekly, on the Buy Now, or God help, if you've got a whale, a grail, and a monster, and you want to sell it on the Premier, which is primarily meant for cards over $15,000, please consider using the promo code Cajun, all capital letters. It is the primary way that you can kind of support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel. All right, let's not waste any time. I've got it here. As you can see, like there's nothing hidden here, except for the prices, because I'm not going to get into the prices on all of them. We'll get into the prices on some of them. It's not okay, or it's not fair. I don't think it's ethically okay for me to share the purchase price on private deals on cards that I purchased with individuals just publicly, because some people don't want that information shared for various reasons. It's not tax evasion, because I'm sharing all of this with the IRS, so it's not tax evasion or anything like that. That's what these spreadsheets are for. I give these to my CPA. We do our thing. I hate myself when April comes around and I pay my taxes, but we do what we do, right? But it's really not my place to share the amounts paid or paid by me or paid to me in a private deal with other individuals without their consent. And I'm not going to call all these individuals and ask for their consent because it's just not that important. Some of the stuff I can't share with you because I sold it publicly. So you guys can go find it in Card Ladder. We'll go look at it together, some of it. So as you'll see at the beginning, a bunch of Michael Jordan stuff. I'm always constantly buying and selling, Michael Jordan stuff here and there. You're going to see a bunch of PSA 867, 867, right? A bunch of hierarchy stuff, the Meltdown, the PSA 7, the Triple Threats, the Forces, Special Forces, 87 Fleer Jordan, Warp Speed, Tradition, Vintage. These are all cards that I've probably picked up from collections, graded at some point, got my ass handed to me clearly by PSA 677, 677, whatever. How about a Jalen Green photogenic sold up in this thing? Fleer Superstars, JM Masters, tons of Jordan stuff. So then I start selling some really cool stuff. How about this? An Upper Deck WorldCom 30-minute Michael Jordan black calling card. This I know. I picked this card up in the cross country collection up in Connecticut a couple years ago. It was he had all of the Michael Jordan calling cards. I assigned very little value to those cards when we did that collection. Ended up selling that thing for $700. I think that PSA 10 was a single digit pop for sure. And they've got all sorts of different Michael Jordan calling cards. For those of you who don't know what calling cards are, back in the day, to call long distance, you used to have to pay money to call long distance. It's really weird stuff, but you could use a calling card. If you could pre-purchase a calling card and use a digit code on the scratch-off code on that. Michael Jordan was featured on some of these WorldCom calling cards, and so that's what that is. Mostly Michael Jordan stuff. Michael Jordan. You'll see I sold a lot of this stuff on eBay. I'm not really sure why I was selling that on eBay. I guess it was in hand. I wanted to sell it. Honestly, I'm not really that sure. The first thing I've got highlighted on here is a deal. You guys may remember, right? And I can share this because he's one of my best friends. He's literally one of my best friends. So I'm just going to show you. So this was, no, this is not it. This is not it. This is 5 Emotion Intense cards that I sold to Steve Davis. It doesn't include the Jordan. Steve Davis is Monk's cards here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He is a huge, huge collector and a huge collector of 1990s basketball insert sets. In fact, Steve just put together the entire Molten Metal Fusion serial number to 250, the entire set in PSA 9. That's crazy. It's the only one in the world. He's completed the PMG Red set. I sold him the Flair New Heights set. He's got all kinds of sets. He just put this set together. This is the 94 Emotion Intense. This did not include the Jordan, but I had a bunch of other PSA 10s, and so I sold him 5 of those for $880. We've got some Damian Lillard low-end stuff in here, and then this is some Michael Jordan duplicates that I ended up selling that I picked up from various collections. You guys may remember I talked about it in my 2025 purchases video. I picked up a huge collection from Australia. I called it the Thunder Down Under. It was 557 Michael Jordan cards. Over 500 of them were graded PSA 10. I picked that collection up, and then I started to send lists out and try to resell some of those cards. Some of those cards I ingested because during the beginning of 2025, I was still pushing forward in the hierarchy. So some of those cards I ingested into my collection, but the rest of them you'll see kind of making their way out. Topps Archives, PSA 10s. I sold 2 of them in a row to 2 different people. We've got some Skybox Autographics McDice. That's still remnant leftovers from the cross-country collection. I wonder what I sold that thing for. $200 for a McDice autograph card. PSA 7, 10 for the autograph. A bunch of Michael Jordan PSA 10 stuff in here. And then we get to some Michael Jordan PSA 8 stuff. This is stuff that, you know, I sent off for grading. It came back 8 or 9. That didn't help me move forward in my hierarchy collection. Therefore, what do? I list it, and you can see where I listed it and when it sold. So none of these prices are going to be, you know, a secret. I can even share those. You can go find them yourself. But, you know, every time I sell cards in the Fanatics Weekly, right, I've got to keep this spreadsheet that you're looking at for tax purposes, right? And so I'll go to my Fanatics account. I'll open it up. I go to selling. And when I click that button, I can sort by weekly auction. If the cards, let's say, for instance, these cards sold in weekly auction number 164, there's an export to CV. I don't know what CV stands for, but export to CV. I click the export. It turns it into a spreadsheet. I take the spreadsheet, I copy, I paste it, I put it in here, and boom, I'm done, right? I don't have to go in individually. This is all cut and paste. All I have to do is say when I sold it, and this was all in Fanatics Weekly Auction 164. Nothing huge in here, you can see, but it's obviously sorted in order of sales price. And again, these are all cards that I probably picked up in little teeny tiny collections along the way. And again, it looks like small numbers, but some of these are small cards. Like this is an Upper Deck Michael Jordan base card, no, PSA 9, $26, right? That's just cards that I brought in, cards I've got to get out. And some of the cards on Fanatics aren't going to do great. Like a Championship Shots die cut did 16. But you know what? 10 or 12 of these up here, this Bowman's Best Techniques may have been an all-time high. And so you kind of take the good with the bad. On the low-end stuff, I just don't have the time in my life as an old 51-year-old man to chase every single dollar. If I wanted to, I could have listed all of this stuff on Fanatics Buy Now or Best Offer and really made sure. But at this point, it was more about cash flow more about cash flow. I'd rather sell something for 80% of what it's worth and get the cash and reinvest the cash. And it turned out to be the right move, because around auction 164 was right before the Jordan shit just went absolutely bananas. And so I was maybe not getting 100% full value for everything, but I was putting it right back into Jordan stuff. Weekly auction 165, same thing. I got an Upper Deck hard court Kobe in here. That's interesting. I think that's a base card. Base Kobe 110. Okay, cool. Yeah, so some low end stuff, right? Low end Jordan stuff in 165 and 166. Nothing crazy. The first one we're going to talk about is I'm going to share this. This is not a big deal. So this is a Barkley card that I sold. I remember buying this card on Instagram. Somebody had a Charles Barkley Atomic Refractor Bowman's Best from '97, and they had it, I think, for $400. And I looked at the card and I was like, God, the card looks phenomenal. And I messaged the guy on Instagram and I said, I'll take it. And I bought a raw Charles Barkley Atomic Refractor. And this is one of the feel good, the dreams do come true stories. I sent it to PSA. It came back a PSA 10. I had that bitch on, excuse my language, but I had that, I posted it on Instagram. I had it listed on eBay, buy it now or best off. I could not sell that thing for the life of me. And finally, I posted it one day on IG. This was probably 6 months. I did this in 2024, but in 2025, I finally posted it on IG and I said, somebody's got to collect Barkley. I've got a big Instagram page. I got 10,000 plus 11,000 followers, whatever. And sure enough, Newport Cards, who I don't know Newport Cards personally, but he reached out and he said, I'll take it. And so $1,000, that deal got done. Small card like that, I could share it. Fanatics Weekly number 169. What do you notice about this? Giannis, all 2013, all rookie cards, all Prism, all Giannis, all 9.5. I decided to get out of my Giannis collection and push all of the money into the Michael Jordan hierarchy in high grade. And this was when it happened. It happened in Fanatics Weekly Auction number 169. So I was running out of funds to buy Michael Jordan cards. I can't stand not being able to move forward. I can't stand being stagnant. And so I sold $19,710 worth of Giannis rookie Prism color BGS 9.5. So here I am in 2025 getting out of Giannis. Well, if you watch my purchase video, you know I've bought way back into Giannis in PSA 10 2013 rookie stuff. Why? I sold this stuff at the bottom. I mean, I sold it for terrible prices. But the funny thing is, some of these BGS 9.5s, like this 9.5 red that I sold for $34.80, it only got worse from early in 2025 until later. I bought a red PSA 10 for $4,500. And so it's really interesting that it could be the right move to sell and buy the same players' cards in the same year, depending on what the market's doing. And Giannis was a great example of that. I sold his stuff. Now, look, would I have been better off selling this stuff in 2022? Shit, yeah, of course, obviously. But we don't ever time the peak perfectly every single time. It just doesn't work that way. This ended up being the right decision because this money went straight into Jordan. The Jordan stuff that I bought, I know went up probably 50 to 100%. Sold that stuff, and now I've reinvested in Giannis, which has come down since this point. So, again, two curves moving in totally different directions. Nothing crazy on here, just selling a bunch of low-end Jordan stuff. A Star Court Kings Patrick Ewing PSA 5. Don't ask me. I have no idea where I got that. 17 Black Diamond. Oh, that's from the Cross Country collection, the ones that I deemed not grade worthy. Listed them on eBay, excellent condition. Sell these, just get something out of it, right? Didn't really assign any value to those cards. Sold 17 Michael Jordan Black Diamond Raws for $55. What's that? $3 a card, right? So just give me something back. Give me something back. These are cards that that I did not deem grade worthy. Had no chance at a 10. Sold a couple of dollars. Yamal, there's a Yamal PSA 9 in there. Some more Lillards. I did a deal with Dark Horse. I sold a 2006 Upper Deck Reflections Mirror Image Gold. It's a LeBron and Jordan patch. It was an 8.5, but it's serial number to 10. Pretty cool card right there. And then this was just a flip. I just bought this card low and sold it for more, believe it or not. It was a 2020 Immaculate Collection Platinum Triple Patch. It was Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, and Lonzo Ball. And it was laundry tag, one of one. And it was all rookie. I was like, oh, that seems like a good purchase. I bought it for a few $100 and sold it for a few $100 more to Dark Horse, who's a big dealer that's out there in the wild. What is this? Oh, okay. So this is from the Thunder Down Under collection. As I mentioned earlier, I bought that Thunder Down Under collection in Australia. And well, here I can share this because it doesn't tell you which cards are which. Yeah, okay, good. So I'm going to share this, right? I bought that Thunder Down Under collection from Australia, 557 cards. I showed you on the purchase video. I paid exactly $100,000 to a gentleman named Les down in Australia. Great collector, great deal. Couldn't have gone any better. Win-win. I bought it at a margin. He got cashed out in one lump sum wire, and then I took the cards and I started moving them all over the world, right? So the first thing I did, I reached out to the folks out there that, I buy from and I sell to, and that includes Josh Dawson, which is Northeast Sports Cards, who was just recently featured on King of Collectibles on Netflix. So he's famous now. He doesn't talk to me anymore. You've seen him on the Hierarchy Project. He's too important. He's too famous. Richard Williamson is an incredible Jordan collector. Frankie, of course, Frankie 3500, one of the best Jordan collectors in the world. The Oracle, I call him, one of the greatest Jordan experts out there. I consult him on a daily basis as part of our Jordan group chat. Frankie's been on the channel before. Paul Mulhey ended up buying a good chunk of cards for me in 2025. Great dude, great communicator as well. And then it looks like I sold a bunch of Topps Chrome Refractor Commons to Mike Raines. Okay, that's just what's left over of my Topps Chrome set, the cards that I already had PSA 10s of. So I can share this. And so you'll see big money, right? So this is me selling 27 Michael Jordan PSA 10 cards to Josh. That's me selling 12 to Richard Williamson. It's me selling 3 cards to Frankie. Those guys are all chasing the PSA set registry. In fact, I can tell you right now, Josh is number 2, Richard is number 4 maybe, or yeah, Josh is maybe 2 or 3, Richard is number 3 or 4, Frankie is like number 5 or 6, and this is on the PSA set registry, Michael Jordan Master. So these guys are the real deal, right? And so it's always a pleasure for me to be able to put cards in their collection that helps them move forward, considering their collections are so much more vast than mine is, believe it or not. Happy to sell this one. I sold on Fanatics Buy It Now, I sold an Alonzo Mourning hot numbers, and I think this was for an all-time record. 220, believe it or not, I think was the all-time record. I'm almost positive about that. Sold a Topps Legacy 9.5, a bunch of Michael Jordan. Again, nothing huge here yet. I did put a bunch of that Thunder Down Under stuff on Fanatics Buy Now. So when you see Fanatics BIN, that's Buy It Now. It really is called Buy Now, but anyway, you get the point. So some of the stuff I decided to put on Fanatics Buy Now, and again, none of this stuff's going to be a secret, right? So all this stuff is public. It's been sold publicly. These are the kind of cards. A Platinum Medallion PSA 6, a Double Trouble Gold Medallion PSA 10, I believe that is, sold for $3,400, which was then an all-time record. Never compromised, yeah. So pretty cool stuff. A bunch of sales of Jordan stuff just here and there. I think this was about... Okay, yeah, this was about, no, I'm still doing, I haven't converted to the consolidation project. I haven't decided, hey, I'm going to sell my Hierarchy collection and move into the Power of 23, the top Jordan cards in the world. So I am still using Fanatics to sell stuff Buy Now. And look how much is Fanatics. It's all Fanatics, right? I'm using Fanatics. Anything you see that says PSA 10 Gem Mint in capital letters, that means it's sold on Fanatics because that's sort of how they list it. But look at all these cards that sold on Fanatics, right, in the weekly. And this is what I was telling you. To do my taxes, I just copy, paste, export, copy, paste, and put it in, and there you go, Fanatics, right? Little low-end stuff. Like down here, you're like, why are you selling Jordans for $80? Well, dude, it's a 93 base Michael Jordan Upper Deck Pop 700 card. I sold it for $80. These are the cards that I picked up in the Thunder Down Under collection that I started to sell in Fanatics Weekly. You'll see a bunch more. This was the New Heights set. You'll remember, I think I picked it up for $5,000 or something like that. Sold it for $7,000. So I flipped it. I made money off my friend Steve Davis. Nothing's better than that. He's rich as hell anyway, so he's not going to mind. Fanatics Weekly 182. I'm still in here selling all that stuff from the Thunder Down Under collection, so you can see these kind of sales. Nothing huge, right? These cards weren't big. This Thunder Down Under collection with the 557 Michael Jordan PSA 10s, I think there was only 2 cards that were worth over $1,000. But there was a lot of Michael Jordan PSA 10s, and my timing was impeccable because PSA 10 Jordan stuff ran wild, like 30 days to 90 days after I picked up that collection. So it just worked out really, really, really well. This is all me moving those cards. And this is how you get to 1,100 card sales in a single year, because I probably sold 550 of them just from one collection that I picked up. And then I picked up that other collection for it was 100 and I think 105 105 or 110 or something like that. Other graded Michael Jordan cards. A Flair Showcase base card, PSA 10. This is when you know the market's hot. $4,000, I think, was an all-time record for that Flair Showcase Michael Jordan Row 2 PSA 10. That is a base card right there, believe it or not. What else? Anything big? Ultra Gold Medallion? Nah, nothing huge. 183. This is still Thunder Down underselling in weekly auction 183. Fanatics Buy Now. Sold a bunch of Lillard stuff. Nothing big in here. Fleer, Topps Mystery, Finest 184. Nothing huge. This is still me selling Thunder Down Under. Guys, we're only halfway, right? We're in weekly auction number 206 right now. So that just gives you, this is 22 weeks ago. You can kind of figure it out and do the math. Okay, the next thing I have highlighted down here is I did do a deal with Edwin, and I'm not going to share the prices on this. So Edwin is EE Sports Cards on Instagram. He's gotten to be a really big Michael Jordan collector, and even beyond Michael Jordan now, just a big collector out there. He is a military guy. I've had him on the channel. He was on the collector's spotlight here on the channel. So if you want to look him up, you can look up Edwin. I think he lives in Germany. I think that's right. I may be wrong. Forgive me if I got that wrong, Edwin, but I think that's right. He was hierarchy collecting in the highest grade possible, and he swept through and bought a bunch of my duplicate PSA 10s that I had. So at this point, I'm still hierarchy Jordan collecting. So I'm not selling my babies. These are all duplicates right here. Fanatics Weekly, we're still moving along. And I love doing private deals like this. I mean, this was, I can tell you, $8,100 worth of purchases, right? And then back in the weekly, still moving on that Thunder Down Under stuff. All those PSA 10s, those are all PSA 10s. And then we get to some Fanatics Buy Now, and then we get to the weekly. Because realize, like, this is weekly auction 185, so that's ending on a Sunday. So that's me plugging this in my spreadsheet Monday morning. Well, look at all the stuff that's sold between then and the next weekly auction, right? This is $11,000 worth of sales, right? And one of those is a 1998 Metal Universe PSA 10. That's the base PSA 10 from 1998. $3,500, pretty good sale. What's that at right now? I don't know. Let's look. Metal Universe 1998 PSA 10. Let's see if that's in there. Yeah, there it is. There it is right there. It's up from then, right? It's up from then. So what did I sell it for here? I sold it for $3,500. This was what, 20 weeks ago? It's about 5 months ago. And then look what this card, yeah. So I sold it before here. That might be probably my sale right there. $3,500. Look where it goes to $5,500. What are you going to do, right? I mean, I can't time the market perfect, and then now it's starting to come down, and we knew it would. So you win some, you lose some. Like I said, I'm sharing everything with you guys. There's no secrets here. You know, well, like I said, I don't share every single sale with you guys, but like this stuff that sells publicly, I don't mind sharing all that stuff. Y'all can look at all those prices. So you win some, you lose some. 1996 Topps Chrome Michael Jordan base, number 139. I wonder what that sold for. There it is right there. That's a $1,357 car. $1,350 was the last sale. What did I sell it for? $1,100 on Buy Now. No, wait, that's 1990. No, wait, I got the wrong one. Sorry, $1,140. I sold it on Fanatics Weekly. So I sold it for $1,140. That's the low price. So I sold it for the low price on August 10th. There, that's exactly my sale right there. I guarantee it. Watch. We can go in here and we can find it. That's the other beautiful thing you can do with Card Ladder, and there it is right there. There's my card. Why did it sell low? Well, you can look at it and see why it sold low. The thing was green. You know, it was what it was. I decided to let it go for low because the thing is very, very green. I don't know what else to say. It is what it is. Going back to the list. All right, let's get to the sexy stuff. All right, we're still okay. Fanatics Weekly Auction number 186 is, I think, where I started to. No, this is still Thunder Down Under. Still Thunder Down Under. Let me get to the next highlighted. Okay, this is where the Power of 23 began. So what does that mean? The Power of 23 was my decision to consolidate my Michael Jordan collection. I had over 1,000 Michael Jordan cards, well over 1,000 cards, and some of them were the best cards in the world. It was a very broad collection, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to sell the PSA 10s. The premium is too much. The cards have run. We showed it on that Metal Universe. We showed it on the Topps Chrome. All Michael Jordan PSA 10s. The premium was just too high. The cards went up too much too fast, in my opinion. Unsustainable. So I thought I was selling at or near the peak. I thought comfortably I'm selling at or near the peak, and it turned out I was correct because I started this process late August, and so I'm selling through September, October, November. That's it. I sold September, October, November. That's when I got out of not all, not even close to all, but a good chunk of my Michael Jordan hierarchy. And I didn't want to take the money and go buy Beanie Babies or buy a Porsche or buy a new house or buy a boat or whatever people down here in Louisiana do, buy a goat. I don't know. I wanted to just put it into Michael Jordan Tier 1 stuff, right? So that's what I call the power of 23. And I'll link that video to the end of this so you guys can watch it. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll understand, right? I decided to buy bigger. That's it. Forget the grade. I just want the bigger cards. I want the rarer cards. I want the most special cards. I want the hardest to come by cards, the cards you don't see very often. And that's what I did. And so I did a private sale. The first thing I did was I reached out to my guy, Nate Flesher, who is my rep at Fanatics. And I said, Nate, I've decided to do this. He's like, are you sure about this? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right. And he's like, send me a list. He's like, send me a list of cards and prices. And it was that simple. So I sent him a buffet, about 50 cards. And I said, here, I priced all these. Every single card was listed at an all-time high. Every single card. So every single sale that you see, well, I shouldn't say every single one, but damn near every sale from this point forward would have been an all-time high at the time. And look at the cards. I mean, we're talking about the Rock Stars Refractor, the Beam Team PSA 10, Finest Refractor, Hooper Stars, Ultra Stars, 97 Ultra Stars PSA 10, Planet Metal PSA 10. Let me just show you something and so we can kind of so I can explain what's happening to these cards and why I did what I did at the time I did it. And there you go. Ultra Stars should be a good one. Nope, that's not going to be a good one because there hasn't been any. So I was selling up here in August. Nope, that's 2023. This is not a good one to use. 97 Planet Metal. These cards aren't going to sell enough for me to show you that they've come back, I don't think. Let's see, maybe Planet Metal. Nope, because these cards don't sell enough. Let me go back. What else is in here? Hooper Stars would be a great one. 93 Beam Team PSA 10. How about Rock Stars Refractor PSA 10? This will be a good one. Okay. Rock Stars Refractor. Watch this. All right, now we're going to figure it out. All right, there we go. Okay, good. So let's go to the last 1 year. So I'm selling here in August, and look what the card's done since then. So that's $13,880, 11.9, 13, all the way down to 10,260. So this card's down pretty considerably. If we go look at the last 6 months, it's down 6%, but it's really not. Let's go look at the last 3 months. It's going to be hard to get a good graph. Down 14%. So you kind of get my point, right? These are the kind of cards, the PSA 10 premium on cards like this that sell, Pop 75 is low, but whatever. So I moved that card. I wonder what I moved it for. $17,000 privately. So my point is, I sold that card for a number that's not even on here. Go look at the Card Ladder highest sale in history, and it's mine, but it's not even going to be on here. 17,100. So I sold mine for 17,000. So mine sale was right here. Like that's a deal where like it just makes sense. Like I'm basically somebody's put 7,000 grand in my pocket because of when I sold the card. What about the 93 Beam Team PSA 10? Let's see. This was the first move that I did, was reach out to my guy at Fanatics, send him a private list. Okay, so, well, this card has really run since then. This is going to make me look stupid. 22,800. So this one I'm going to get my ass handed to me on, I bet. 13,500. So that one did not turn out well. Okay, so like I said, there's no shame in my game. I'm showing you the good and the bad. Apparently, I should have held on to that one. I would have done quite well. Hooper Stars PSA 10. What did I sell for? Hooper Stars, I sold for $8,500. I don't know if Hooper Stars is in here. It's not. So let's go to sales history. The last one sold for $6,900, $7,400, $7,800. So I sold for $8,500. So a win. So a win, a loss, a win. You know, you got to just look at the different cards. Ultra Stars is going to be impossible. Polaris Showcase Rose 0, serial number to 250, PSA 10. This one I feel like was a huge win, $28,000. And we're not going to look up every single card. Let's see if we can find this. 16,000. So 16,000 is what the card last sold for. Is this card in here? Oh, it is in here. Okay, yeah. Card Ladder thinks it's worth $31,000 today. I don't know if I agree with that. I sold it for 28 net. I will take that. The highest price in history is 23. The last one sold for 16. So 28 for me. Those are kind of deals where you can do it privately. It's all net. There's no fees. It just makes sense, right? So this is where I started to get out of my hierarchy collection. These were my hierarchy PC cards, and I decided I'm pushing it in. So just that one private deal there got me $108,000 to spend on tier 1 stuff. Does that make sense? That's kind of, this is going to be the ultimate rinse and repeat starting the very, very, very beginning of August, right? And so Fanatics weekly auction number 189, I start selling big boy cards. And so weekly auction number 189, I think, actually, I don't think I started selling the big boys yet. That's another $8,000. Yeah, I didn't. First, I'm trying to do everything privately. That's right. So I'm trying to do everything privately. Why? There's no fees. Why? Because it's a lump sum. Why? Because you ship to one place. It's real easy, right? You can initiate the shipment from your Fanatics vault. It goes to them. It gives them a tracking number. Fanatics does all the work. You pay shipping costs. It's done. It's easy, right? And so I reached out to my good guy, GG, Philly Jordan 23, right? I'm not going to say how much he paid for his cards, but I sold him the High Risers 10 and the Premium Players PSA 10. Big, big cards. Andy Albert sold in my Topps Gold Label, Red Label, serial number to 100. That's a tier 2 card. Sold in my Stadium Club Fusion members only. Of course, only Andy would know how rare that card was. He stole that from me, and I let him do it. And then Philly Jordan 23, that's GG, again, who is a great viewer of the channel and a huge, huge collector. He reached out again and said, wait, I'm not done. I want more than the High Risers and Premiums. And so he dumped in another $73,000 for these cards. Like just in these two private sales to Philly and to Andy Albert, that's another $137,000 that I've got now to go put right back into Michael Jordan cards. Again, this is a consolidation. It's not a liquidation, right? And so I'm just moving it from A to B. If I could have traded these cards for the cards that I wanted, I would have, but you just don't know when the super rare tier 1 Michael Jordan stuff, the credentials, the Playmakers Theater, the StarQuest Gold, the PMGs, you just don't know when that stuff's going to show up. The Ultra Stars Gold, the Jambalayas, they don't show up. So they're not there waiting to be traded. And the folks that have those cards aren't looking to trade down. And I say down, those are good cards that I'm selling. You know, those are big cards, but they're not looking to trade down. So then Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor, these are buy now sales, so I can share these. These are 3 big sales. I put them on buy now because I didn't trust auctions yet. I had not decided to go to auction yet. First, I wanted to list everything at crazy prices. I don't say crazy, all-time record prices on the Fanatics Buy Now auction. Sure enough, all-time high for the Atomic Refractor, all-time high for the Hot List, all-time high by far for the Kobe Mystery Refractor MJ, $30,000 there. Ended up selling a card to my guy Craig down in Australia. A bunch more BGS 9, a bunch more sales on Fanatics Buy Now. And I can promise you, if you see these things selling on Fanatics Buy Now, those are all-time records or very, 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 very close to all-time records right there on those cards. Philly Jordan came back and said he wanted the dynamic dunk, so I did that. Then another private deal through Nate at Fanatics. He got another deal done for 3 cards. Those 3 cards, another $12,000 in my pocket. And then GG came back to me and said, all right, let's do it again. Now he's taking these cards, he's buying from me, and he's moving them into the Fanatics Weekly. He's moving them privately. And so he's probably making money off me, but I'm selling the cards at or near all-time record prices. So what the hell do I care? He was paying very strong, in my opinion. So he comes back to me with another $12,500. Who knows what he turned that into? He may have turned it into $100,000. Who the hell knows? Fanatics Weekly number 190. I still haven't gone large yet. These 2 sales right here on Fanatics Buy Now, I recall, were both all-time records. It's a 95 Stadium Club Beam Team PSA 10 and a 1995 Stadium Club Warp Speed PSA 10, $12,800 and $22,500. And then we start to, more private deals. So I get 2 more private deals done with these guys who just happened to notice the cards that I had for sale because I posted the spreadsheets, I think, somewhere on Instagram somehow. And so just through private deals again, we've got another $12,000. Ultra Power in the Key PSA 10 sold on Fanatics Buy Now for $14,000. This will be a good one to look up. Power Key. I think that was the all-time high at the time. So there's your Cajun cluster. We knew that was coming, right? Let's look at the last 6 months. There's your card. It has sold for, view all sales. What did I sell for? 14 net. What did I sell for? Yes, 14,000, not net, 14,000. So it's 14.9, 15, 14. That's me right there. So 14. So again, did I time it perfect? No. Did I get 15 or 14.9? No, I didn't. But damn it, that was a big jump from 9,000 because the last sale before that was in March for 9. I'm super excited to announce that BCW is an affiliate partner of the Cajun Cardboard brand. When you check out at BCW, use the promo code Cajun to receive 10% off of your order. I sold it for 14. That right there is a microcosm of exactly what I was trying to do with all of my PSA 10 hierarchy Jordans, and it just made sense. Here is, I think, nope, still not. This is still Thunder Down Under stuff. So we're still selling Thunder Down Under cards in weekly auction of 191. We're about to get to it. Okay, so weekly auction 191. We're selling. These are all Thunder Down Under cards. Duplicates, Power Palette. These are all duplicates, right? I still haven't dipped into my collection publicly yet. I haven't dipped into moving my hierarchy collection into the Fanatics weekly auction. I wanted to try to do it all privately and on Fanatics Buy Now First to maximize the value of the cards. So I controlled the price. Buy it or don't. If you want to overpay because it's a pop 11, do it. If you don't, that's fine. I can always move it to auction later in September, in October, in November. And remember, everything you're seeing here, we are still August, September, October, November. That's it. That's when I sold my hierarchy stuff on weekly auctions. So the first weekly auction where I finally put my nuts on the table was right here. And that's when I put this Bowman's Best atomic refractor in there. I put some freaking whales up in this thing. This is weekly auction number 192. In fact, I'll just show you the whole weekly auction. And this is where I was like, you know what? If we're going to consolidate, let's freaking consolidate. And that's when I put my nuts on the table and went large, 192. Here you go. That is $180,000 worth of sales in weekly auction number 192. $28,000 for an atomic. The 98 Planet Metal for $22,800. That was an all-time high. The Records collection for $22,200. That was an all-time high. Scoring Kings PSA 10. That was not an all-time high, but that was damn high. Net Assets PSA 10 all-time high. I think these were all all-time highs, if I'm not mistaken. You guys can go double check me. Now, the one that I did not count on was this freaking Dunkin' Go Nuts card. I sold it, and you guys know I've talked about this card. I'm really curious to see if I did okay on this. I haven't gone back and looked at this stuff. It doesn't make any sense for me to go back and look at crap like that. Let me go BGS 9.5 Dunk Nuts. This usually works. All right, there it is. Okay, so this is funny. So this is this card over the last 6 months. It's been as low as 11, and it's been as high as 21. And this is a BGS 9.5. Okay, I'm fine. I'm right in the middle, right? I sold it for $15,600 in weekly auction number 192. So where's mine? There's me right there. So I probably was hoping I was going to get around 20. I got 15.6, but guess what? 15.6 is good. That's the second, third highest sale out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sales. So I did fine. I'm happy to get out of that card. Again, I think that card's still overpriced. That's just my personal opinion. I'm trying to figure out another one that we can look up to where I can kind of show you Hoops Top 10. This is going to be a good one. Okay, 1995 Hoops Top 10. I sold for $12.30. 1995 Hoops Top 10. Is that going to be in here? Damn it, it's not in there. Well, we can do this. Watch this. I sold it for $1,200. Let's go to sales history. The last one sold for $1,000. So I sold back here, right? No, I was $1,200. So I don't know where it is. Where am I? Hoops Top 10. I lost it. Okay, I lost it. No big deal. 192. More private deals. 2 more deals with Paul Mulhy on some pretty big cards. Mirror image refract, not too big, right? But sold my big men on court PSA 10 to Dottie Raffia. Big sale right there. And then sold a PSA 8 high voltage serial number to 500 to a gentleman named Wang Chung. No relation. to the great band from the 90s. Believe it or not, I sold a Bo Jackson Orange Battlefoil PSA 10 as well. On Fanatics Buy It Now, ended up selling these two guys right here. One of these is a Michael Jordan. Listen to this. This is a card that I picked up in the Thunder Down Under collection. A Legends Magazine Silver Border Jordan PSA 10. I don't even know what that is. I think it's hand cut. $575 on Fanatics Buy Now. Pretty cool. 193. I continue my onslaught of selling the Thunder Down Under cards as well as my personal Jordan collection. The Z-Force Rave was a hard one to let go of. I have two of them. I think I have one of them left still, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm pretty sure this is an all-time record or close to it. 97 Z-Force Rave, number 23. 97 Rave, 399, BGS 9.5. Let me see if this pulls up in the ladder. Okay, good. All right, that's what it's done over the last 6 months. 9,000, 10,000, 10,000. I sold for 9,000. So I'm right there. I'm at or near the top. I'm fine. It's just one of those things where you're never going to time it perfectly. The Power Boosters PSA 10, number 277. I wonder if that one's in here. Is that in the ladder? Yep, it is in the ladder. So this is a card where I'm definitely going to have lost on this card. So that's what this card's done. Don't you tell me. I don't know. There's a card. There it is. The Pop 68. They're out there. I mean, it's great. It's a fantastic card. Don't get me wrong. But this card most recently sold for $44.50. I let this thing go for $3,960. So again, not the end of the world. $3,960 on Fanatics Weekly. That's me right there. That's me right there. Second highest sale in history. Again, what are you going to do, man? I have a feeling the next one's not going to sell for $44. I think it's going to come back below $39.60. Fanatics Weekly 195. I went back and I put some big boy stuff in there. Okay, I put some big boy stuff in there to the tune of $91,000, I think. Yeah, $91,800. What does this do? Well, it gets you a Playmakers Theater. It gets you a StarQuest Gold. It gets you halfway to a Credentials. It gets you to a Jambalaya or two. It gets you to an Ultra Stars Gold. It puts you into tier 1 stuff. And what am I selling? I'm selling the cards that are just a notch below. I mean, a Kobe East West Refractor BGS 10, Maximum Metal PSA 10, Moment's Best Honor Roll Atomic, 15,000. These are all-time records, guys. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I'm just taking the money and moving it from one place to another. So you guys kind of get the picture. We're getting towards the end of the year. And then the last one, and this is the tricky one. This is the one I just refused to put into an auction. And finally, somebody did buy it on Fanatics Buy Now. The Skybox Premium Meltdown, my PSA 10. I vividly remember, I know for a fact, I think I bought this thing for $10,500 the week before the Atlantic City National because I bought it in the same auction as the Skybox Premium Player for the exact same price. I think I paid $10,000 or $10,500 for both of those cards, both PSA 10s. And so to buy for 10 and sell for 46, that's kind of a win, in a 4-year period. But watch what the Meltdown's done. This will be interesting. Let's go to Meltdown. This is a very talked about card, just like the, the last one sold for 38 and I sold for 46 on Fanatics Buy Now, which means I netted probably 43.5 or 44 or something. I don't know. I can't do the math fast enough, but great sale there. How about the Premium Star Rubies? Sold that thing for an all-time record for sure on Fanatics Buy Now for $13,000. And then Fanatics 196, I keep pushing, and I was very scared about selling this particular card, which I'm about to show you, the Michael Jordan Molten Metal BGS 9. I want to look this up because Molten Metal BGS 9 Fusion, there it is right there, because I didn't know what to do with this. This one had been going up and up and it scared the hell out of me. This is the last 6 months. This might be mine, 32,400. That's me. Okay, so I've got the highest sale in history, and there it is right there, 32,000. It was a $26,000 card in July. I traded for at $15,000 value with Andy Albert at the Chicago National two Chicagos ago. And so 32,000. So this is an example from 26,000 to 32,400. You got to make decisions, man. You got to make tough decisions in this hobby. And I don't want to come off as though I no longer care about a cut above BGS 9.5 or a Skybox Premium Golden Touch. These are the cards that I dream about. These are the best Michael Jordan cards in the world. Everybody wants them. Everybody collects them. I think these cards in high grade are going to go down in value. Okay, calm down. I think they're going to go down in value over the next 6 to 12 months. In 5 years, they're all going to be worth more. I really honestly believe that. As the hobby gets more educated through the Cajun Cardboard website, through the hierarchy, through Instagram, through Facebook, more and more of us old people are getting on Instagram, Facebook, learning more and more. More and more people are getting the nuts kicked out of them. They're having their nuts munched on by a prairie dog on ultra-modern quarterbacks, on ultra-modern basketball prospecting. Think how much money people have lost on Scotty Barnes and Paulo Banchero and Jalen Green and, dude, Zion Williamson, John Morant, fill in the blanks. Those people got murdered. What are those people going to do the next round, right? That's round one. Round one, you got punched in the freaking face and knocked to the mat. What are you going to do in round two? Guess what they're going to do? They're going to go buy vintage. They're going to go buy vintage baseball. They're going to go buy 90s Jordans. They're going to go buy Kobe. They're going to go buy Steph Curry. They're going to go find something that's more risk averse because they don't want to leave the hobby, right? Maybe they will leave the hobby. Maybe the flipper crypto bros and sneaker bros are going to leave the hobby. That's fine. Go leave the hobby. But the ones that stick around, they're not going to go back and buy the next, ultra modern quarterback prospect flyer. They're not going to go buy I can't even name. They're not going to buy the next Tua Tagovailoa, for $80,000 and hope for the best. They're going to come back and they're going to buy these cards. They're not going to buy the cards that I'm buying now because they don't know they exist. They don't know anything about them, and they're not going to have the balls to go buy those cards first. They're going to go buy the Hooper Stars PSA 10. They're going to go buy the Golden Touch, PSA 9. They're going to go buy the Illuminator PSA 7, PSA 8, PSA 9. They're going to go do their research. They're going to go find the cards with the most demand in the world, and it's the Michael Jordan hierarchy cards from the 90s. It just is. I don't know what else to tell people. They're relatively rare, especially when you compare it to modern and ultra-modern cards. They're incredibly rare, and they're fun, and it's an education, and it's entertaining, and you could talk about it forever, and you can argue about which one's the best, and you can argue about should it be worth this or that, and you can watch the PSA 10 Thunder and Lightning sell for $100,000, and then you can watch it sell for $40,000 next week, and then you can watch the Raw one sell for $4,000, and you can never understand. You can watch a Power Boosters 10 sell for $4,000, and then you can watch a Power Boosters 8 sell for $180. It's just crazy what's going on in the Jordan market, and it's never a dull moment. And I don't want to come across as though I don't care about these anymore. I've got a new kid, right? It's the tier one. No, it doesn't work that way. It's just a necessary means to an end that required sacrifice. And it was the hardest thing that I've ever done since I've been in the hobby. Selling these cards that I'm talking about that are highlighted is the hardest thing I've ever done. Weekly auction 196, I'm still going strong. 197, still going strong. 198, I'm still selling my hierarchy cards. Every once in a while, you'll see a buy now sale where I'll sell a monster and like the premium 3Ds, BGS. I'm super excited to finally announce that the Cajun Cardboard brand is now an affiliate partner with Ship My Cards. Ship My Cards has deep roots in the sports card hobby and a comprehensive list of services from shipping and storage to grading, consignment, private sales, escrow services, and even the exclusive premium white glove delivery service for your highest of the high-end cards. When you check out on shipmycards.com, make sure to use the promo code Cajun123. That's 9.5. There you go, $9,000. Premium 3Ds. I don't know if that's going to be in here. There it is. Last one sold 10.6. That's fine. Okay, there's me right here, $9,000. Last one sold for 10.6. It is what it is. Pop 49. If I ever want it back, I could probably get it. I don't think the next one's going to sell for 10.6. I didn't time it perfectly, but I timed it damn good. You know what I mean? So, one of those deals, 199, 198, 199, Fanatics weekly auction. This is a fun one right here. This is an Anthony Edwards Monopoly Black Gold that I bought. It just seemed low, and I bought it low and sold it for high. I think I bought it, I can't remember what I bought it for, but I definitely made a profit on that, on an Anthony Edwards card, which I did not have on my bingo card. What about the Special Forces BGS 9.5, $24.50? Let's see. I sold for $24.50 during the peak. 2,500. That's me. Okay, so I am the last sale. So my question to you is, where do you think the next sale is going to be? Card Ladder thinks it's worth 2,500. Card Ladder thinks it's still going to be up. I sold mine on November 16th. So here I am. We know this is November 16th right here. So this is the weekly auction ending that weekend. Weekly auction 200. I'm still going strong. I'm still going very strong. This is the Topps Chrome preview number 77 PSA 10. Topps Chrome preview minus refractor 77 PSA 10. Watch this. That doesn't make sense. No, that's going to be a description error. But anyway, weekly auction 200. The net Regis finally just sold. I think I've started to give in a little bit because at this point, I think, you know, we're pushing near December and I think the market has started to soften. I started to notice the market was softening. So let's see what I sold this net Regis BGS 9.5 for. BGS 9.5 net Regis. Is this going to come up? Yay. Okay, so 10,250. That's me. There it is. Buy now. Fanatics. Guess what the next one sold for? 6,900. Get my drift? Look at the last 2 years. Where is that? That's the peak. What is this? That's September. That's November. That's now. That's stealing. That's me stealing $3,000. Did it work out perfect on every card? No, it did not. But on the big ones, I got a big lick on some of the big stuff. What else do I have highlighted? Stadium Club Rain Men. If you recall, I was scared shitless. I bought this card from Coleman Cards for $6,500. It was the all-time high. When I bought the card, it was early in 2025. It was on the other video, and I was pushing forward. Coleman posted the card at a card show, and I said, Coleman, I'll take that card for $6,500. I did not even negotiate. Sold it for $8,000 a few months later, so that worked out well. And here is the other BGS 9.5 Super Rave. Ended up selling that one, and so that's the 190, and so I sold both of them my Super Rave BGS 9.5s. The Finest Refractor 9.5. I'm curious whether I did good or bad on this. So 9,200 for Michael Jordan's first ever refractor, 1993 Finest Refractor. What did I say? 9,000 what? Boom. 9,200. Is that the all-time record? The all-time record is 10 in 2021, 9,200 on December. That's me. Okay, so the second highest price in history of 52 sales. And so you can see Fanatics Buy Now makes sense. Look at this card. Look at this card right here over the last 2 years. Look at this card over the last 2 years. This is this card right here, the BGS 9.5 93 Finest Refractor over the last 2 years. A card that was $4,500 in May. This is exactly what happened in 2025. And I promise you, people, I promise you that card is going to come back into the $6,000 or $7,000. I guarantee it's going to come back to the $6,000 or $7,000 range at some point in 2026. I am telling you right now, I don't think the next one's going to sell for more than 9,200. And mine was a Min Gem. So maybe it's a Gem Plus or something like that. And people are dreaming about PSA crossing, and maybe it will, right? The PSA card ladder thinks it's worth 24 and a pop 41. Shout out to DJ Dirk Nowitzki. Same pop for BGS 9.5, about half the value, right? So this is a card that's up 103%. So it's a double. And I know I didn't pay this for it. I paid way less than that when I bought that card. And then the last two cards, and this just happened a couple of weeks ago, and we'll pull both of these up in Card Ladder so I can show you because it's still happening, right? These are cards. If I sell a card on Fanatics Buy Now, it is either an all-time record or it is damn near it because that's all of my prices on Fanatics Buy Now right now. I haven't gone back in there and adjusted them because I eventually at some point, probably later in 2026, I'm just going to move them into auction. I stopped running. You'll see the last Fanatics weekly auction. What was it? 202. That was like last week in November, right? Something like that. We're in auction 206 now. So I think that was last week in November, maybe first day of December, something like that. So the last Fanatics weekly auction I did was a month ago because I saw the market softening. It is softening. Not every card, but cards that you see sell 4 or 5 times a year, 10, 20 times a year, those PSA 10s and those BGS 9.5s are now coming back down a little bit. And that's okay. It's nothing to panic about, Jordan people. It's nothing to panic about. Let's look at these last two. I sold my 92 Stadium Club Beam Team members only for $15,500. That's find the members only. Boom. 14.6. So did I sell it privately? 15.5. Why is that not showing up? I don't know why that's not showing up. I did it. I know I did it. I'm positive I did it. But look at what this card has done over the last 2 years. And this is not even accurate. It's up more than 170% because I sold mine for 15.5. That's a fact. I know I did that because I accepted. Oh, it probably hadn't gotten paid yet. I think I'm still waiting for the money to hit. I literally did this like 3 days ago, something like that. And then Skybox Thunder Noise Boys BGS 9.5. BGS 9.5 noise. That's all you got to put in. Okay, boom. Yep. December 21st, 17.5. That's me. Yep. Is that Fanatics buying out? Yep, that's me right there. So 17.5. And that might be the all-time high. And again, that's your Cajun cluster. This is the term that I came up with. Cajun cluster. Look at this. Over the last 2 years, this card sold once in February of 2024. Didn't sell again for a year. Didn't sell for a year. And then it jumped so high to 16.8 that what happens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 come right behind it, including yours truly. Why? Because the price is just too high, man. It's just too high. It's a pop 77. You can go get the card. You can go get the card. Like, it's too much, too fast, right? Up 29% over the last 2 years. Look at this graph right there. What does that tell you, right? At some point, we're going to have another one of these. Dip, dip. Here comes another dip. And then again, in 2031, it's going to be worth a lot more than $17,500. So I'm not doom and gloom here. I'm definitely not shitting on Jordans. I'm not saying the hierarchy sucks. The hierarchy is amazing, but you know, I'm not going to compare cards to stock markets or crypto or any of that. Just, it's not even worth getting into that argument or that talk because people out there still say cards are not investments. Yes, they are. I will say this. After all is said and done, and I've talked to you and walked you through way too much in way too much detail of what I did, just to give you a little peek inside the mind of a 51-year-old Cajun idiot. You know, timing is everything. Buying the right cards are everything. Buying the right player is even more important. You got to get the right player, then buy the right cards, then buy the right cards at the right time. It's really, that's the trifecta. And when you hit on all three of those, you can make a shit ton of money from an investment perspective. Again, I've got friends out there. Josh Dawson's my friend. Frankie's my friend. Stanley's I got the biggest Jordan collectors in the world. I'm friends with those guys. They're not selling anything. They're still buying into this. And that's okay. Why? Because they're collecting habits are different. They are trying to collect according to the set registry. And I was trying to collect according to my own set registry called the hierarchy. And that's great. And it was incredibly fun. And I will do it again. I promise you, there's going to be videos in the near future where I'm supplementing the hierarchy. We're going to add some cards to tier 4. We're not going to replace cards, but we're going to add cards to make tier 4 bigger. It's coming. Trust me. I promise. Probably 2026. You'll find it on the CajunCardboard.com website, which will be out January 1st. I don't know when I'm going to publish this, but January 1st, the website will be up and you can go see some stuff. That is a project that's coming. It's called the Hierarchy Supplement. You're going to love it. It's a bunch of cards that could have been included, should have been included, and now are going to be included. They're not going to be on the poster, but they're going to be on the website and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. But, you know, I'm going to do this soon in another day. The difference between me and these other Jordan collectors is they're trying to collect in a different direction. We're both doing the same thing. I'm just trying to make my money work for me along the way because, like I said, I just picked up an Essential Credentials card in the other video you saw that. I picked up a Playmakers Theater 9.5. I picked up a couple other Playmakers Theaters. I picked up a StarQuest Gold. I picked up another Super Rave copy of Duplicate. I can't buy those cards. I don't have that money in my gym sock or my shorts, right? I don't have it in my bank account. It was in the Fanatics Vault in Tigard, Oregon, in the Michael Jordan hierarchy cards. And when the tier 1 cards are not up, they're not even up. Those cards were not even like up. Really, they have not been appreciating in PSA 6, 7, 8, BGS 8, 6, 9, 5, whatever. Those have not been appreciating. They have not been keeping up with the more attainable PSA 10 cards who are up 1x, 2x, 3x. We saw cards up 3x. Well, it just makes sense to take the money from here and put it into there, and that's what I did. Maybe it was the right move, maybe it wasn't. I know this. I'm pretty content right now. I've gotten over the pain and the suffering and the sorrow and the longing to lose my hierarchy PSA 10 babies, the Pop 11s, the Pop 8s, the Pop 3s, the Pop 5s. I know I might not get those cards back ever in those grades, but I have a feeling at some point I'm going to get those cards back. That's just a hunch that I have. Maybe in a couple of years I'll have a chance to buy back into the hierarchy in a PSA 8 grade. I think that's probably going to be the sweet spot, and do that for tier 4, tier 3, and tier 2. And then again, the hierarchy supplement is coming soon. Cajun Cardboard website's coming soon. Let me know what you think. Am I an idiot? I don't know. Maybe I am. And again, I don't show you the numbers for puffery. I show you the numbers out of transparency. I don't want to show you all the numbers. I'm not going to give you the total of what I bought and what I sold. It is the first year that I've ever sold more than I've bought, and I bought a lot. So it was an interesting year of money moving in a lot of different directions. A lot came in, a lot came out. The IRS is going to love me, right? I've got thousands of transactions going on and wires flying all over the world. It was a crazy, crazy year. But man, 2025 was fun as a hell, and I feel really good about the moves that I made and the changes I did. What did you do in 2025? What is the biggest change in the way that you collect in 2025? You saw my purchase video. I went from collecting only Michael Jordan hierarchy stuff to soccer set collecting Marvel PMGs, collecting Marvel Intimidation Nation, collecting Reed Shepherd, selling Giannis at the beginning of the year and buying back into Giannis at the end of the year, even in a more heavy, dramatic fashion. What the hell is going on? I even bought a couple Stranger Things cards. So I've got all kinds of crazy stuff going. What is the craziest thing you did in 2025? What is the craziest thing you plan to do in 2026? I'm coming out with a video to share with you guys what my goals are for the hobby in 2026. I'm going to try to keep it a little more organized. So maybe 5 things that I want to accomplish in 2025. Maybe it's grade a certain number of cards. Maybe it's acquire a certain Michael Jordan tier 1 card. Maybe it's acquire a certain value worth of Giannis cards. Maybe it's to flip the Giannis cards at some point in 2026 post-trade, because the trade is coming. Maybe it's to complete some of these soccer sets. Who knows? I'm going to do a video showing you guys my top goals for 2026 and share that with you as well. Hopefully you like these end of the year videos. I've got a nice Kobe Bryant series coming up. Kobe's rarest 5 rookie cards. Kobe's only serial numbered licensed rookie cards. Kobe's only autographed rookie cards. Kobe's most valuable rookie card sales of all time. Kobe's only refractor rookie cards. A lot of Kobe Bryant rookie card videos coming up soon. I think you guys are going to enjoy them, and it's going to tie right in. It's going to tie right in to the Kobe Bryant project that is going to be released exclusively on the CajunCardboard.com website, coming very, very soon. So stay tuned for those Kobe videos. Also, stay tuned for the website. When it drops, I will be imploring you and asking you to sign up for the monthly newsletter. It's free. Yes, that's the first question you're going to ask. It's going to be a free newsletter. I only want your first name, last initial, email address. Period. That's it. I just want to get you on the newsletter, send you the newsletter. If you ever hate it, unsubscribe, get out of it. It's going to be pretty cool. AI is going to help me generate this newsletter every month. It's going to have some really cool sections in there. There's going to be a Jordan section in there. There's going to be videos that you might have missed in there. There's going to be a throwback video that you probably missed. There's going to be a hobby current events section. There's going to be an educational section in there. There's going to be a whole bunch of cool stuff in these monthly newsletters, and you guys are not going to want to miss it. Especially if you're new to the channel, you're not going to want to miss some of the stuff that I pull back, claw back, and put into these newsletters from maybe 2022, 2021. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to go back that far and bring some stuff in here, and you guys are going to get a kick out of it. Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. I'm looking forward to a great 2026, and peace.